This is the Lumix G100. It's an incredibly capable and affordable little micro four thirds camera that can take incredible pictures and great video. And due to some dumb marketing choices on Panasonic's behalf, you can now pick these things up between $300 and $400, making it an insane value, especially given the fact it's only 4 years old, being released back in everybody's favorite year, 2020. The quality of the pictures and videos that come out of this camera are actually so good that I've used it for some professional work. However, I won't lie when I say that one of my interviewees genuinely giggled when I pulled this camera out after spending like 15 minutes setting up my lighting and tripod. While its size makes it absolutely adorable and great for carrying around as an everyday carry, it just doesn't bode well for professional camera work when a client is paying you thousands of dollars and expecting some Hollywood-ass camera. The body is so small that even my speed booster alone extends past the body and prevents it from sitting flat on a quick release plate. Of course, I can just prop it up on the speed booster's included tripod foot, but that gets especially sketchy once you start adding more and more accessories. As a videographer, of course you're going to want to add that top handle and shotgun mic, which you can only do through the cold shoe mount without a cage. And given it's a Lumix camera with a speed booster, you're definitely going to want a follow focus system, which means you're going to have to strap the camera into a base with 15mm rods. And of course, next you're going to need to add an external battery and throw away that stupid old 1000 mAh one from Lumix. Alright, so once you've done all that and clamped on your mat box, good luck lifting all that weight up through the cold shoe mount and that little tiny tripod foot. Okay, so let's start back over. Anybody who has experience rigging cameras knows that the first step is finding a good cage. However, the last cage made specifically for the G100 was discontinued years ago. Therefore, those looking to take their camera to the next level have to get creative. Enter the Canon M50. Being a direct competitor, the G100 was suspiciously close in terms of design and dimensions. Unlike the G100, the M50 and the M50 Mark II were much more successful, and despite being discontinued now, there are a number of cages still available on the market for it. Especially when looking at the two cameras side by side, astute viewers may notice that the G100 may actually fit pretty snugly inside of an M50 cage. So I looked around online, and I think the safest bet was the newer cage for the M50 or M52. This cage left more room around the battery and SD card door and was less form-fitting at the top in case it wasn't a perfect fit. Additionally, because the M50 used Canon's EF-M mount, it was very common for users to utilize speed boosters and Canon's native adapter. Therefore, Newer advertised that their cage was 100% compatible with speed boosters and adapters. Taking all of that into consideration, I took the gamble and ordered the cage from Amazon. Once it arrived, the first thing I noticed was definitely that it was a pain in the ass to put in. Because it doesn't just perfectly slide in, it does take a little bit of effort trying to line up the 1/4 inch screw hole at the bottom, and then it is a little difficult to get it to line up perfectly, as in not to be at an angle. I think one of the only differences between the design of the two cameras is in the position of the eyelets for the strap or lanyard, and I think that comes into play here because one of the eyelets on the right prevents it from fully rotating in all the way. Between the several times I've taken the camera out and put it back in, it seems like it randomly will get worse or better, and I can't figure out why. In this video, I actually got it to line up pretty well, but then I later took it off and now it seems way more crooked again. With that being said, this doesn't seem to affect the functionality at all. I can reach all of the buttons, I can open the flap for the ports, I can open the SD card battery door, everything is accessible. It seems like we are good to go. There's really only one point of contact, which is a downside and can feel a little bit sketchy, but at least on the bottom, I can screw it into my Arca Swiss plate with 2 different 1/4 inch screws, so it doesn't rotate, and being able to mount my 3/8 inch top handle onto the cage directly instead of using the cold shoe is a big positive. My speed booster no longer sits lower than the body and the camera can sit totally flat. The flippy articulated screen seems to work pretty much flawlessly, but you may need to flip the screen flat before swinging it all the way out in order to get it to sit at a perfect 90-degree angle. The bottom of the cage technically has an Arca Swiss plate built in, but it's sideways so I can't use it with my follow focus or 15mm rods, so I just screwed on my regular Arca Swiss plate facing forward. Oh, it also has a little magnetic tool that attaches to the bottom of it, so that's pretty cool. Overall, I'm pleasantly surprised. I thought I would at least have to make some modifications in order to get it to fit right, but it seems to work pretty well just out of the box. So if you're also a Lumix G100 owner disappointed that there are no cages for it anymore, then this is a good option, especially for only like $20 to $30. It seems like a no-brainer. I think it also gives it a good boost in size and makes it fit a little bit better in the hand, but if you are using a speed booster and larger lens, it can be kind of a tight fit between the speed booster lens, your fingers, and the grip. It's something I got used to pretty quickly though. Speaking of speed boosters and lenses, go watch my other video on continuous autofocus performance between the Sigma 17-50 f2.8 OS and the Tamron 17-50 f2.8 VC when mounted to a Viltrox EF M2 speed booster. Otherwise, subscribe if you want, and bye.